The annual Bhaktivedanta Swami lecture engages current and future leaders in analyzing issues facing our world today. It provides insights and possible solutions from the vantage point of Vedic knowledge. Held in honor of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada, the talk hopes to inspire and enlighten leaders and thus influence positive change. This year, the lecture, entitled Echoes of the Past, was at UKZN's Westville campus and looked at achieving social transformation in post-apartheid South Africa.
The Bhaktivedanta Swami lecture was designed to profile the life and teachings of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. His Holiness Bhaktivinod Swami, who is the director of the Bhaktivedanta Academy. He'll be speaking on the topic Echoes of the Past, which is in celebration of the South African Constitution. This year marks the 20th anniversary of the South African Constitution, and also looking at the road South Africa has traveled in the last 20 years. We're so happy to be partnering with the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation. And so the executive director will deliver a short address as well. So this program tonight is really packed with quality speakers who have lived lives, as we've said before, that are examples of what qualities of humility, qualities of compassion, and qualities of love for others.
So the poverty is something, and the education is something that is all a situation created by our economy.
The Vedic tradition says that all living entities are essentially spiritual. And so, irrespective of what religion, caste, creed, color, race, gender, people are all fundamentally spiritual beings. So our whole understanding springs from that. All types of religious foundations, social foundations, political foundations, and all those things that go on in this world should be rooted in spirituality. And that was Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, our founder's effort. And in this way, he was able to bring together a multiracial, multicultural society all over the world to understand the central principle.
Questions of identity have flared up, and we've had to ask ourselves as South Africans, will we carry on being defined by our past? Will these echoes of our past still haunt us today and into our future? So the Bhaktivedanta Swami lecture wants to answer that question by looking at things from not just a different perspective, but from a transcendental perspective, the spiritual perspective, the perspective of Bhakti Yoga.
Drawing from my own experiences and the experience of this country in the 1980s, what was very strong was a interreligious or interfaith network of religious leaders that were fearless in terms of dealing with social and political issues. And they were able to act as the moral beacons of the time. I think it's beginning to re-emerge again in 2016.
I think what was delivered was a document that today shields this country from a whole range of ills and keeps, I think, the wolves at bay.
Krishna means the all-attractive one. So only God is the all-attractive. He's the all-powerful, the all-beautiful, the most renounced, the most powerful. So when we use the word Krishna, it identifies God as the all-powerful living entity. And we're parts and parcels of Him. Like Prabhupada gives the example of the ocean. We have a nice big ocean here. Now, if you take a particle of that ocean out and you examine it, you'll know that it's the ocean. But it's just a particle, it's not the ocean. So Krishna is the all-powerful.
Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada repeatedly asked about, when he went to universities like this, he would always ask, I see your department for engineering, I see your department for medicine, for the arts. Where is your department for understanding the self?
Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that whatever great man does, common men will follow. Academia, the leadership in public and private sector, these are the people who steer the country forward. So if the people at the helm who have the wheels, so to speak, are in proper consciousness, the people will be directed towards a pure life.
The key ingredient that we perhaps need to work on as a country is leadership. And leadership that must begin to guide us in how best to interpret those values and the actions that will support those values. The values as enshrined in the Constitution are foremost amongst those values that we need to instill amongst young people, but among citizens of South Africa as a whole. And starting off from a value of tolerance, of mutual respect, and the core values of the Constitution being non-racialism, non-sexism.
Ultimately, what every single Bhaktivedanta Swami lecture has strived to achieve is to spark questions, spark debate, spark a questioning of identity. Who am I? What am I? What is the source of my existence? How can I change society for the better? Not merely shifting things from one end to the other, but actually transforming society and bringing society to a higher level of consciousness.
When a person comes in touch with himself and he comes to know his identity, then his qualities naturally change.